there, Seraphim17 once again. This is more strength hosting in the Darkroot forest, and I am joined by my girlfriend Danielle.
Hi.
And we're going to be analysing some Dark Souls in silence, because we can't hear the benefit of any of this that is happening right now. So, what do you know about what's happening right now, my lovely?
You're not the blue one.
That is very true.
And that's about it.
Okay, so this is player versus player, and how this works is...
If you'd have said PvP, I would have known what that meant.
I'm very impressed. Do you know what that means just then?
The fire?
Yeah.
No.
It means he's using a pyromancy. But what this is you see in the top left hand corner how there's the 24 and it's glowing with white?
Yeah.
What that means I'm in human form. Whenever you're in human form on this game, other people can invade you. There are certain areas that are more frequented than others, and you are warned before it happens, when it's happening, and you are fighting a human at that point. It's his objective to come into your world and fight you. If he kills you, he gets something. If you kill him, you get something. And that's how this game works. And this right here, I am intentionally standing in this wood to attract these blue people that you can see. And as you can tell, I'm doing a little bit of, skillful moves to take them out. But in this situation right now, this is two people fighting me.
That seems unfair.
Well, immediately, what
Mind
people...
you just killed them both, so maybe
Well,
it's not so unfair.
Sometimes you just gotta do what you've gotta do. But this forest is filled with these kind of... with all kinds of players. Players that are going to want to 1v1, players that are going to, do anything they can to win, players that are going to be with other players trying to win. There's a term that gets thrown around a lot called ganking.
I've heard that.
Do you know what it means?
I thought it was when more than one person gangs up on another one.
Well, that is one meaning for it. What you will realise, though, if you've read any of my comments, everyone has their own opinion on what ganking is. And there is no single definition for it. There isn't. Because there are a lot of different mentalities on this game, and everybody kind of has their own. People have contradictory opinions, people see a lot of hypocrisy in other people, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance. And that's the good thing about you watching, because I can ask you from a completely unbiased opinion what you think is happening and what you think denounces fair. So... this is a guy with a very long katana. He's throwing an item just there to stop me from using my flasking. I don't usually heal on this game unless the opponent heals, because what happens is I can use an item called an Estus Flask, and he can't. So, me being able to have access to a pretty quick heal, and the opponent not having any heal aside from items, is immediately, to me, a sign of something that's unfair. What do you think about that? Do you think that's reasonable? Do you think that's a good design choice?
For you to be able to heal quicker
Yeah,
than the other
one person
not.
can, one person can't, effectively.
I don't know. It depends on how good both players are.
Well, that's a good
fine,
point, because
but
depending
then
on skill will depend on...
It could be a bit cheesy. Making it unfair if then you can't determine who's good and who's bad, but then it's like...
What about this? What do you think of this?
So did he wait till you killed the other person so he could backstab you?
He did indeed. And when I'm in that animation of taunting, which is customary to do after a fight, he came in and killed me. After he'd waited for us through that entire fight, and he came in at the end.
That's dickish.
You think that's dickish? You see, I think that's dickish too. And that right there, that is perfectly fine. I'm using a strength weapon, which are notoriously slow, and I got punished just then by this player, who missed me with the pyromancy, but thanks to lag, apparently it landed. And I'm introducing him to the concept of the Flintstones with my giant club.
I was going to say, your weapon looks kind of more basic than all the rest of them. Is that on purpose?
Well, this build is a strength build, so how this works is
he benefits... Big, fat, heavy club.
Exactly, he benefits from these silly weapons, and the best way to use any weapon like this is to two-hand it. But I'm experimenting with various different playstyles, so I'm going one-handed, I'm going two-handed. I'm trying to do a lot of parries, as you can see. I was trying to do something called a setup parry. And he's going to backstab.
That seems like a lot of control.
What do you mean?
to be able to play one-handed or two-handed.
Do you get what I mean when I say that?
No. I thought you weren't holding it with one or two hands.
No, this has got nothing to do with
Which
that.
seems more logical to someone who has no idea about these games.
I mean the weapon. Have you ever swung an axe to chop wood?
Yes.
Have you ever done it with one hand?
I can't remember, it was a while ago.
Did you ever do it with two hands? There's a difference with your ability to swing an axe. And on this game, one-handing and two-handing gives you different abilities. Sometimes it's faster one-handed, sometimes it's faster two-handed, sometimes it gives you a different move set. Sometimes, especially if it scales with strength, which these weapons do, it gives you a power boost.
So it's not about literally holding it with one or two hands?
Well, not the pad that you're playing with.
Oh, no, but I meant the weapon in the game.
Yeah, that's what it means. Just the guy holding it.
Oh, see, I felt really stupid then, but that's what I meant.
No.
To start with.
No, it's literally... Do you see how he's got his shield in his left hand?
Yeah.
If I press Y, he will put it on his back, and I'll hold it with both.
That's what I mean. That's a lot of control in a game. Normally you have a weapon and you do with it what it's...
Well, that's why Dark Souls is so unique. That's what makes these games
really,
good.
really not stupid now. I felt really stupid just then when I said it was how you held it, and
well,
you basically said no.
I thought you meant the pad.
I'm not that stupid.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That, you know, usually you've got a brain and a smart brain at that.
Good save.
Oh yeah. But this is a classic encounter right here. This is the striker versus grappler concept in Dark Souls. He has a katana, which is very fast, recovers very quickly, but doesn't do all that much damage. I have a very big, but very slow weapon, that if I hit him, it does a lot of damage. Perfect English.
Well done.
This is the typical situation you will find in this game. That right there, he went for a parry. Did you see him swing his arm?
Yeah.
Because parries on this game, if you land them, they do massive damage. But because of the lag, you've got to do it before the person swings. You notice I'm two-handing? Then I go back to one-handing, and I do the big swing. I do a second on, and he beats me. Beats me fair and square. That was a good fight. And then he bows. Because
That's
he's...
nice.
Exactly. It's a gracious sign that he enjoyed the fight. We've now moved into the Undead Berg, and we're coming up against a guy with poison resin on his sword. So that move I did just then cannot be parried. So, you know, if he goes to swing his shield to do a parry, there is no way he will land. And almost every time he will take damage and wish he'd not tried. A lot of people don't know that. It's one of those things where you either know it or you don't. And if you don't learn it quickly, you're going to be in trouble. But he's using, with the look of it, I think it's an S-Stock. It's got the S-Stock rapier-esque swing. He's trying to poke me out. I'm waiting for my stamina to regenerate. But, you know, if you were to say one characteristic of this person's playstyle, what would it be? Just off the top of your head, no pressure.
I don't know, because I was watching you more than them.
You see that then?
Well, you won.
Did you see what happened?
No.
He's been very defensive. A lot of people call it turtling. Which is understandable. But I don't mind it, because it's a valid strategy. Defense is a good offense. It's just a lot of people will give you shit for being too defensive.
It's kind of like camping in other games.
Yeah. To a lesser extent, but yes, that's what you could call it.
I imagine that annoys people.
Oh, everything annoys people. That's the glorious thing. Everything annoys everyone on a different day.
This seems to be one of those, like, a lot of other games people can kind of take or leave. This seems like one of them where if you... everyone seems to have an opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not kind of like, yeah, it'll do. It's always a really strong opinion of...
complete finality.
Yeah, and other players as well.
That's it. Dark Souls is literally religion. It's gaming religion when it comes to debates, because everybody has the strongest opinions on everything.
And it seems to have happened quite quick.
Well, the game's been out quite a while now. I think it's nearly 2 years.
But it's super quick.
Kicked me pretty well. Well, it's...
for me. But I'd say that as somebody who... I'm kind of on both sides of the fence, whereas I know a fair amount about games, considering I don't play them from you and your friends and stuff, and then, you know, the opposite side of my friends who don't play any, or the few that play
Call of Duty and FIFA.
Yeah. And so it's weird that in the gaming community, and I suppose this happens all the time, this has got such a name for itself relatively quickly in comparison to how, on the other side, probably a lot of people haven't heard of it.
No.
Especially in comparison to FIFA and Call of Duty.
Well, this is something known as a niche community.
But it's such a big one, that's why I'm surprised.
It's less in size, more in passion.
Yeah, I suppose as well it's one of those things where this isn't something you can be shit at without it being relatively often pointed out to you.
Oh no, you can have the best gameplay ever and people will still pick faults.
Exactly.
You'll roll too much. You'll
That's what I mean.
parry too much.
I'd feel
You'll space
relatively
wrong.
comfortable, probably not FIFA, because I've never played any football games, but relatively comfortable playing Call of Duty and being really shit at it. But I don't think I'd feel comfortable trying to play this.
The thing is though, would you enjoy playing those games even though your performance was not very high? That was a mistake right there.
Probably.
What do you think I should have done instead of what I did?
I don't know, because I didn't understand.
Well, did you notice how he put both his hands together? It almost looked like he was praying.
Yeah.
That means he's charging that big spell. You know, if I'd have smacked him with this axe, I would have stopped him from doing it. But I didn't. I tried to back away and I got caught. But one thing I have been utilising with strength weapons for people that try to range me when they've got low life is the little knives. You see me throw that cheeky knife?
I didn't. There's too much on the screen.
Yeah, there's too much happening.
You know what to look for. I'm just...
Well, if
I'm like, ooh,
if you
there's
look
a brick.
here,
That's nice.
that's the weapon I'm using on the right. On the left is my shield. On the bottom is my consumables. If you see these move, it means I'm pressing things on the D-pad and I'm doing it for a specific situation. So this guy is using a parrying dagger and he's got a rapier, which tells me he's either going to do what I'm doing now, which is a...
Stab yourself.
Yep. Or he's going to try and parry me. And do you see what he did then?
Did he parry you?
No, he did a what's known as a lag stab. It's like a pivot stab. He ran towards me, and because of the lag, it put him behind me.
Oh, I think I just spilled my coffee.
Well, you shouldn't be so excited, should you? You
I
silly
did.
bitch.
I've got a wet patch now.
That was filmed live on this commentary, ruining your dress. And right there, he beats me. He beats me because he used his build as it was supposed to be.
So we like him.
Yeah, and he's back again, and I'm using a different sword.
I like this, that you can be polite once you've stabbed someone.
Well, it's the notion that just because you win doesn't mean you have to be a dick. That is this massive argument in Dark Souls. People think, you know, when you're red like he is,
Yeah.
you should do whatever you can to kill the other person, regardless of situation.
That little walk round that he did then was very camp. I liked that.
His little dress.
It's funny.
And do you see that? Why do you think I did that?
Because you're a dick.
No.
No.
Did I look like I was being a dick?
Yeah.
Why?
With that thing.
I did a shrug.
Oh, see, that looked more like a come at me, bro, kind of thing.
Oh, did it? Do you think so?
Yeah.
There's actually a come at me, brah, in the game. But
Yeah, you had your foot on something, like...
yeah, well, I didn't mean to. That was just the game. But did you notice what he did?
No.
The first thing he did was backstab me. He ran straight past me, no intentions in fighting, and he stabbed me in the back.
Is this a different person to what you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
fighting
this is
before?
different. This is a guy with a sunlight
Oh.
blade on a scythe. And
See, it confuses me because the place looks... Is the place the same?
Yeah, I'm hosting in the Berg. I stand here, these people come to me.
See, that's understandable then. I thought this was the same person as before.
No, this is someone completely different. And the one thing you want to watch here is how non-aggressive he is with a buff and a scythe. If you have a buff, it's going to make any weapon you use ridiculously powerful.
What's that?
Do you see how it's shining like a lightsaber?
It's pretty.
Yeah.
It looks like one of them fish, do you know, that has the light on its head.
Well, the anglerfish,
Yeah.
guys. Well, this is sunlight massaged onto the blade and turned into quite a powerful weapon. And if it touches you, it does a lot of damage. But this guy's been far too passive with it. And I thought, no offence to the guy, he was better than he is. I thought he was doing this because he was trying to, mix up his approach, mix up when he attacked me. He should have backstabbed me then, but I rolled bait. Oh no! Ooh, bit of unlock swinging. You'll notice I'm doing a lot of backstabs because this weapon is very slow, and unless you stun lock, it can be real difficult to do much with it, and I'm not the biggest fan of stun locking. But this guy's new, and I fight him a handful of times, and I sent him a message because I was curious about him, and he said, you sure are really good at backstabbing, because I was doing a couple of, they're not advanced techniques, but the things if you don't know, you're going to get beat up a lot, unless you learn them. And I sent him a message basically telling him to go to the wikis, watch this video by a certain guy called Phantom EWGF, because he's like a scientist when it comes to this stuff, and he thanked me, which is always a cool thing. But I pop a Blossom, he's very close to dying. That's the awesome Gravelord nonsense that never really works. There's his Wog, which is Wrath of God. A lot of people don't like that. And I'm trying to chip away because he's got very low life, and my weapon is so slow. There's the roll BS. You see it? I knew he was going to swing, and that move he has is so long to recover that I could roll and get behind him before he'd finished. So this is somebody different. You notice how we bow at the start? That initiates a fight.
But I was watching the little white guy run about.
Well, it's customary in this place to bow before the fight. A lot of people believe, because once again, it's down to interpretation. It's the difference between a wave and a how, if you're a native Indian, I guess. Where a bow to me generally means that you're putting yourself into a contract where you're going to fight me as fair as you can. Some people think it's just the initiation of a fight. Other people do it because you did it. Some people will wait for you to bow so they can come and kill you while you're in the animation because you cannot get out of it. Once again, it's, everybody plays this game differently. Is that wrong of them to exploit the fact you expected kindness? Is it cheap? There's so much depth. It's so ambiguous to how you think. Like, for instance, this guy. He's cast a bunch of different magics. He's coming at me in the forest. You want to kill these people as quick as you can because more will come. They're like Mongolians. But you'll notice he's got a rapier, so do you see how he keeps his shield up when he pokes?
Yeah.
If I swing at him, then I won't do damage. That's why people get accused of being turtles. That right there is a move called Dark Bead. It's very fast, kind of cheap, some people believe. And this is just pretty standard at the moment. That should have been punished with a backstab. Do you see that? Didn't even touch him. That's the lag. That's what you're fighting sometimes.
I didn't even see what happened then.
It is difficult, but
I don't see what happens most of the time. This is stabby, runny.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of nuance that unless you play, you're gonna miss. But that's a good thing because I'm the person who talks about the nuance. When you're here, we can talk about the fact I just swung a sword and missed him and he died, and then I shrugged because I killed him in one hit.
Can you push people off the edge of that?
You can push people off the edge. You can do a lot of things. People play just to do silly things like that. But this is, do you notice how we both bow? We both use the grass, or the blossom as it's called. And then we start fighting. So I'm using another slow weapon, another weapon that benefits from being two-handed. You'll notice I just swapped then into two-handing. I'm trying to do some fancy spinning to try and get maybe a dead angle, or just to be a little bit unconventional. He's using another safe weapon. I think that's a boulder side sword. It looked like he wouldn't go for the parry then. Do you see that poke he did just then? Everybody does that. Watch how many times he does it. Every move. They space you and they poke. They love it. And a lot of people, once again, they'll criticise you for doing it. You see it? Every time. Poke. Watch him. Poke. Every time. And I should really be setting up the parry because it's obvious when he's going to do it. He keeps pulling out the spells though, so he's mixing it up a little. It's not a bad thing. It's just, if you keep doing the same move, a good player will predict it and he'll punish you. And he just died. And I've got to be careful because the crystal homing soul masses can actually attack you.
When they're dying?
Yeah. Like, this is the heal that we mentioned earlier. I didn't think he was going to let me heal. Did you notice how you were moving a little suspiciously? Because it's I know a lot of people say it's like chess. It's not like chess because it has nothing to do with moving pieces on a board and you don't tip it in the air when you get mad. It's the mind game of it, not knowing who you're fighting. Because for all you know, you could be up against the best player in the game. Or you could be up against the luckiest player in the game who seems like he's really good and is actually really bad. There are so many intricacies, it's unbelievable.
Do you think it's changed?
Yeah. Do you know why?
No.
I've put the Blood Red mods on because do you see that bar? If that gets to the top, I die from bleed damage. If I take that blossom, it gets rid of it for me. Did you see what he did there?
No, he's got a shiny sword now.
So what does that mean? It's that word we used, isn't it?
I can't remember.
Buff. He's buffed himself. Not even sure where buff comes from. The name for it, buffable. I don't even think it's in the dictionary.
No, I don't think it is.
But this is a very powerful buff, and he's swinging for the fences. And what happened then?
He failed.
He did. That was a parry, that, my queen. Whenever somebody swings, repeatedly, and I stand in front of them, I'm going to go for a parry. And do you see what he's doing there?
Healing?
Yeah, that's what that was. That was the heal spell. And he does it again. And because I'm not the biggest fan of healing, I give him a shrug. But in his fairness, it's part of his build. So I can't be too mad at him, because that's how he's spent his points. You see it? Did you catch it then?
I did.
What was his mistake?
Being shit.
A lot of people would agree with you. He kept swinging. He mashed it. That's what people call it. People call it mashing. And I'm going to get caught by a good player when I try and mash.
I could have written my entire dissertation on the language of this game.
Yeah, even more so if you look on the forums and the wikis when you get people getting really, really anally retentive about acronyms and terminologies. It's great and it's terrible. It's its own worst enemy at the same time because it gives it a lot of depth, but with depth comes debates, comes needlessly pedantic arguments over everything. Absolutely everything.
It reminds me of somebody the other day had said something on Facebook along
that was
the
the
lines,
parry, by the way.
along the lines of, wish I could have lied in bed all day or something like that, and someone asterisked underneath and said laid.
Lay.
And I asterisked and said lane. I was like, if you're gonna be fucking pedantic.
Let's get real pedantic on this one.
And they're like, no, it's laid. And I was like, no, it's not.
No, you lay a tray,
It's
you
a
laid...
perfect tense, and it's lane.
What is L-A-I-D? What is that? Because lay is a tray. Laid...
What do you mean, like to lay?
Like laid bare, you know?
Well, I can never remember which one. You lay something.
Yeah,
Lays.
I know that one.
And you lie down.
You lie down, yeah.
So he'd put lied, but he said could have lied, which is perfect tense. So he could have lain.
Wow.
It's really like
English
the past
language
tense
is pretty
the
crazy
past
with that
tense
shit.
of lie is laid, I think. And then the perfect tense is lain.
Oh, so there you go, guys. Dark Souls and an English lesson.
Yeah. Next time I'll have to do a video on teaching you something.
Oh. What, like?
I don't know.
Blowjob technique? Too much?
Too much.